I woke up this morning and very early. It's going to 5 o'clock here in my state, and I couldn't sleep. So I thought to myself, well, let's just make another video of my life story. And so I started to think, start to remember way back when I was maybe 5 years old. That's as far as I can remember. I remember my mom, she has always been a single mom. I don't remember my dad that much because my dad, he had about maybe 6 or 8 wives, including my mom. But they were all living, most of them were living together in the same compound. But for my mom, we always lived away in another place. And that's the reason why my mom was single, because my dad was never around. It was just my mom, my sister, my little sister Pressure, and I. My older brother Speedball, he was a naughty boy. So my mom had him away in boys camp, or something you call, yeah, boys camp. It's a school you send your kids where they teach them values and how to behave, all those things. So my brother was always away. You were never living with us. And as far as I can remember, I think when I was about 5 years old, my mom lived in this place called Old Field. It was behind the government hospital in Buchanan. And for some reasons, my mom, she and the elderly man that lived in our house, we were in the same kind of house, like, but he was, on the other side. They were always getting in a fight, you know. And so my mom decided to move from over there, from Oldfield. So when we moved from Oldfield, we moved to Tottenham Street. I mean, we've been living in Buchanan this time all along. So we moved from Oldfield to Tottenham Street. And that's where my mom had her little shop where she used to sell her food stuff, drink, and that shop sustained us. And so it provided for us. I mean, I never really saw my dad. And if he did come, it was like, if we were lucky, 3 times a year. So he wasn't really around. So my mom did everything by herself. And so I remember my mom started to, let me go back a little. I have a brother and a sister, an older brother and a little sister. My older brother he's Speedball. His name is Honest. He's from another father. And then my little sister, her name is Pressure. Pressure, I want you to know that I love you very much and I miss you. And then her name is Pressure. She's the youngest. And then, yes, that I wanted to say that. So we live on Tottenham, and my dad now, he got, it, I trying to remember things. And my dad, with his 7 wives, they all lived together. And then we used to see him every once or twice or 3 times a year. So when my dad was coming over, it was like Santa is coming to town. And so we were so excited. But he only spent one night. If he came in today, the next day he's gone. Even sometimes we'll wake up and he's gone. So it was like, it was hard for us kids. I think I remember we were going to one of the in best schools in Liberia, in Tottenham, in Buchanan. It was called the Catholic School, St. Peter Clever High School. That's the school my sister and I were going. rich people you send their children to that school. And so um my dad, since he was never around, my mom was single and she was lonely. And so she started to date this guy, another guy. And his name is Joseph Pee Wee Gata, but we used to call him Mr. Pee Wee. He used to say, Mo Joseph Gata, Mo Joseph Gata, Mo Joseph Gata. That means, that's a Basa language. It means, I am Joseph Gata. But he has this drinking habit. He used to drink excessively. Um, we didn't know that at that present time. May his soul rest in peace. He's dead. And he I'm not gonna cry today. I'm not crying. I want you guys to get this story. So Joseph and Gata and my mom started to date. And so my father found out. Someone went and told him. And so my father came and found and got and saw Mr. Gata. I would just call him Mr. Pee Wee. And saw Mr. Pee Wee and my mom together. And so my father beat my mom helplessly until I realized that my mom was gonna die if my father didn't stop beating him. So I tried it was me and my little sister. When my dad was about to beat my mom, he locked all the doors so that nobody in the area would come in. And so while he was beating on my mom, my sister and I, we ran towards him and started to hold him. Do you know what that did? I don't want to. I don't want to say anything that I'm not supposed to say. He pushed me and my sister aside and started to beat us too. And you know what he said? He said it was because of us, our mom was cheating on him. So he started to beat on us. Right then, I started to hate my dad. I hated him so much till I never wanted to even see him, and I didn't even consider him my father anymore from that day on till today, because the way he beat my mom and beat on us. You know, some father, when they beating on their mom, on your mom, and the kids go there and start crying and start holding the dad will feel sorry and just, stop. But I wasn't that guy. He just kept on beating until my mom was helpless. He left. When he left, my mom called her family and said, I don't want to be with him anymore. The way he beat me and then beat me, my children, I don't want to be with him anymore. So my mom left my dad. And when my mom left my dad, do you know what my dad said? He said, if you don't want to be with me, you have to leave this house. Because that was my mom. The house that we were in, he owned that house. So he said, leave my house. Well, my mom said, you know what? Who cares? I'm leaving your house. And so we moved from Tottenham Street. We moved to Gonigatan. It's a Basa name. It's called Gonigatan. Not too far away from Tottenham Street. I mean, about 30 minutes away from Tottenham Street. And so my mom, we moved to Gonigatan and we still had our shop. But then for some reasons, I stopped seeing Mr. Pee Wee. I don't see Mr. Pee Wee anymore. And man, I think I was about by that time 12 years old. I didn't really care. Mama, we were so happy together. We were so happy. And then after some time, sometimes went by, my cousin, her name is Daughter. She was older than, or she was the older. I think she was even 15 or 14 or 15 years old. That my auntie that's here in Rhode Island that I told you guys about, that saved my life, that I moved in with during the war when I was pregnant. That's her daughter. That's one of her daughters. And so her name is actually Luono, but we just call her daughter. That's just a funny name, and I like it. And so she was like a bigger sister to us. So she moved in with us. So we were three girls and my mom. And my mom went. My mom said, "You know what? I am done uh, 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 paying rent. We should buy a house." And then my mom decided to, you know what? Let's just buy our land. We went with my mom went and purchased this land in a place called. Now this is all before the war started. Okay, I just want to take you back to my life before the war started, and then we can move forward. You know. And so my mom went and bought this beautiful land in on the fairground in the St. Piano. It's a place called Fairground. It was a newly developing area, and so it's called a fairground because it was right behind the city hall. And at the city hall, that's where we had all galleries and programs and stuff. So the place was called the fairground. And so we moved there. My mom actually bought the land. Okay. And can look, guys, if you put your mind to anything in this world, you can do it. We were three girls. We decided three girls, but my plus my mom made a four. My mom decided like we're not going to spend any money to build a house. We already have the land. We can build, all four of us can build this house. So it was me, my sister and daughter, and my mom. My mom decided that we would build this house. So she said, you know what, let's just find a man, just one man who would be able to help her cut the wood, clean on the ceiling on top of the house, and be able to roof the house, because we ladies, we can't. So that's what my mom did. She paid him not much. She told him, say his name was John Tete. He was from Ghana. Nice guy. He had a beautiful wife. Oh my God, I used to adore her. Her name was Mary. And she told him, if you help me build this house, you and your wife and your children can come and live with us. And then you don't have to pay anything. And so that was the contract between she and John Tete. I hope he's somewhere. Yeah, we loved him and his family. So we went and we started to build a house. We went in there because the place was a developing area. People were newly moving in and building houses. It was a huge forest. And this forest that were there, it allowed us to be able to build our house without spending any extra cash, because that's where we got all these sticks to, because it wasn't a brick house. It was a mud house, plaster. During those days, it was, very inexpensive and safe too. Like Bola cannot enter that house. The only thing you can do to that house is climb on the roof and take all the zinc, and that's all. But the house stands. Bola wouldn't enter the house because it was a mud house. And so we got the mud from right in our yard, in the back and front of our yard. We dig the mud and then we plaster the house with our hands. After on Saturdays we will go early morning around 5 o'clock, and then we would build a house. It was a 4 bedroom, 1 bathroom, living room, dining room house. I mean, it was so nice. So nice. If you see it, you wouldn't know that we built our house with our bare hands with mud, right? No nails. The nails we use, I think now for the roofing, but the plank, the surrounding of the whole house, we use rope, and they have the rope in the bush where you can go and get the rope, strong rope. So, and then you tie the rope and connect the sticks. And then after that, then you get the mud, and then you plaster the house with the mud. It was so much fun. I remember it was so I'm even talking about it. It's exciting. And so we built our house. I don't think it lasted long. I think either 6 months to a year. Yes, and our house was done. We moved in. When we moved in, my mom, well, not, she didn't have that shop again. So because she got really broke, from the house building. Nobody to help her whatsoever. So when we moved in, we started to go to this school called Foster High School. It was about 10 minutes walk from our house. And the fun part about this school, it was one of the uh, most famous private school in the area. It was also a new school too. And so we started to go to this school and we liked it so much. And then all of a sudden, when I look, I started to see Mr. Pee Wee. My mom did, boyfriend. I started to see Mr. Pee Wee coming around. And I was wondering why, where was he all this time when we were building our house? Why didn't he come to help? Now we're finished building and now he want to come in and sleep? No way. I didn't like that idea. Kids, we are crazy. So Mr. Pee Wee moved in. You would not believe he moved in. He's a very nice man, like hands down. If he's not drunk. When Mr. Pee Wee gets drunk, he will beat my mom. At the last time I remember him beating on my mom and my mom wasn't like cheating on him or anything. When he gets drunk, he goes stupid. All right. And so, oh, Mr. Joseph Gato, may your soul rest in peace. He was like a father to us. He was always around helping and stuff. But when he drinks, he becomes the worst person ever you want to be around. And the last time he beat my mom it was in the middle of the night. He came home really drunk and we heard noise from inside. And my mom was crying and he was beating on my mom. So we came outside, we opened the door and went in the room. This time he didn't beat us, but thank God. And he my mom, we ran from in the house and ran outside. But in the middle of the night, we ran from in our own house where we built with our bare hands. We ran out of that house. And did you know what he was? The liquor bottle he had in his hand, he was drinking. He threw the liquor bottle behind us and it hit, I think either hit me, no, it didn't hit me. It burst. The bottle burst and splashed on us. But thank God we did not get hurt from that. And that's when my mom decided, no more men for me. I'm done. My mom kicked him out of the house. My mom said, get out. I'm not going to allow you come in my house and treat me and my children this way. He begged my mom over and over. But my mom, I think she was kind of done with the man drama thing. And so Mr. Pee Wee moved out. And we started to live a happy ever life. What did I just say? Happy ever life? You wait what happened next. My uncle lived one of my mom's youngest brother, he lived in Monrovia at that time. And we were in Buchanan. Monrovia is the capital city of Liberia. And so my uncle asked my mom so that we can go and live there with him. And during those days, my uncle, he was not rich, but he was way up there, He was okay. He had a very good job. He had a beautiful wife, but he and his wife never had any children. And so he took all his family children in. His brothers, his like people like us, his sisters' children, he took them in. And this woman was so good. She opened her arms to the family. Her name is Sis Martha. She is still alive and beautiful. Still beautiful. She's beautiful. We loved her. She was so good to the family. And so my uncle decided to take us. I didn't want to go. I really didn't want to go. And the reason why I didn't want to move to my uncle is not like I didn't like my uncle. My uncle was like a god to the whole family. Who wouldn't want to live with him? But we just built our house. We just built our house and we were enjoying our house. All right. We used to go out and in the butchers and get fruits and come and go and get fish from the little creek that was in the back, and we made our own garden, and we used to eat our food came from the ground. It was all organic. It came from the ground. We were exploring. We were having so much fun, you know. So I didn't want to leave. I was so sad, but at the same time, I wanted to go be with my uncle. It was gonna be fun. I thought. That's the understatement. All right. And so we had to move to my uncle, my sister and I. When we moved to my uncle, it was all heaven. Ooh la la, all heaven. Because the wife that he had, she was an angel. I mean, I can't express it more. She was an angel. She took good care of us. She was like a mother to every one of us. I think we were about 7 or 8 people living in our house. It was me, my sister, my uncle Joshua, my brother Speedball, my auntie Daisy, my uncle Charles. Yes. So we were six or seven living in the house. All family. And my uncle and his wife took really good care of. But my uncle had a drinking problem too. What is it about men in my life about drinking at that stage? It was we. That's why I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do any sort of those things because my life was all almost as far as I can remember from 5, 6 years old. All the men in my life was all alcoholic. All right. They drank excessively and caused trouble. My uncle, he's a wonderful man. His name is Uncle Gene. He is still alive, guys. I love him. We used to call him Daddy. So, um, he drank a lot, and that was a huge problem between him and his wife. And when he get drunk, I mean, when he gets drunk, he behave like a 2-year-old. He would be all on the street, lying all on the street, and like someone who's crazy. And they will come and call his wife to go and bring him from the street. It was so shameful. He would hurt himself because he was drunk. And so it was a huge problem between he and his wife. And so she did, you know what? You have to stop. But on the other hand, this lady, stepmother, she couldn't have children. And so my uncle went out there and he started to have children, unknown to his wife. And the thing is a crazy thing. Well, African, we are weird. So my uncle started to have children with you know other women outside. And he had one girl for now that the family knew of. She was so beautiful. She's called Jolly. We call her Jolly. She's so beautiful, chubby. And the family fell in love with Jolly right away. And my auntie now, who's in Rhode Island, took Jolly and was taking care of Jolly for my auntie for because of my uncle. Because they were trying to hide it from stepmother, which is my uncle's wife now. I think they shouldn't have hired it, because that woman, she's so down to earth. If he were going to tell her, I think she was going to work on that girl in, well, stop matter. Let me go back a little. It's not that she can't have children. She had one child, and that was it. And she never had any more child again. But this child is all grown up, I think in her 18 or 19-year old, big girl. But my uncle wanted his own children of his own. And so he went out there and did it behind her back. And so my auntie was taking care of Jolly. And oh my gosh, auntie. Well, she did it because of my uncle and she loved him. And so 1990, we moved to my uncle in 1989, and then 1990 the war happened. So we just lived there for 1 year, and then the war happened. But before the war happened, my uncle like left. He kicked his wife out of the house. He kicked her out of the house. All right. And I can remember that day she was crying, and she left this house crying and begging my uncle, don't do this. We have so much together. Don't do this. And my uncle said, get out of my house. So she left. And then what my uncle did? He went and brought his girlfriend, the girl that he had Jolly with, his daughter. I think we consider Jolly his first child because that's what we knew at that time. So he brought the woman in, and he told us, oh, this is Jolly mom, and she's just coming to spend time. She came in, I remember, with a plastic bag. And before then, we used to go visit this woman. This woman lived in a horrible place. She never even had a place to stay. So, where she lived, it was when I remember my auntie came and took us there. We were like, there were poop running. In this place that they live in, there was no door. And can you imagine, it was not even during the war. It was before the war when things were normal. And she could not afford a place to stay. Now when I think about it, I'm like, oh, you know. And so she moved in. She was going to come and spend time. But when she came in, she never went back. I'm going to keep this video short for 30 minutes, and then I will make another video and continue. And then when I continue, I will start with the war. All right, the 1990 war, my experience, the 1990 war. So I'm going to say, Jolly mom, Tutu, move in. Her name is Tutu. She's still alive. She's one of the family. She is the family worst nightmare. Like, yes. And so she moved in. And when she moved in, we used to call her Tutu. But when she moved in, she demanded that we call her Mother Dear. Yeah, Mother Dear. If you guys watch this show, call Mother Dearest. That's how she became. She became a Mother Dearest. Me, ugly, and wicked. I will stop here for now because I wanted to keep this video short. I didn't want to take too long. 30 minutes is okay for now. And then I will continue with the next video. Thanks for watching, and if you like my video, please like and share, leave comments. I would like to hear from you guys. If you have any questions, I would like to hear. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. It's free to subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video, and I will start from the 1990 war. Bye.